Welcome, everyone, to your weekly energy tune up healing session. We've already had a little bit of a discussion with my group that comes on and helps me out with this work. And we came up with a lot of topics like central nervous system, anxiety, fatigue, sleep. And then someone mentioned lungs and breathing. And I thought, oh yeah, that really felt like the one that's going to actually encompass the whole gamut of, let's say, anxiety, movement, even your digestive system, brain, fascial system. So one of the things I'm going to be tuning into while I do this session is this gal. I've forgotten her name all of a sudden, but she does. It's called block therapy. She's from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Lovely girl. I've been following their work and doing their work for almost 2 years now, and wow, it's really helped me out. And recently, I've had a massive breakthrough in my breathing, and because someone brought up breath, I thought, well, let's go there. So if you want, look up block therapy on YouTube. They give you a lot of recommendations. You can obviously go to their website and follow that if you've got some breath issues. But they're also on YouTube. You can use a towel. I actually started with a yoga block, and then I just loved the work so much that I bought the actual blocks that they use. But I'm shouting out to you guys in block therapy land. And, hopefully you guys will check them out and start to. The thing that really resonates with me, I'm probably not going to do everything that block therapy does justice, but for this session, we want to really bring the attention into our internal engine, the internal motor, so that our bodies are able to heat up. So sometimes we can have a stagnant digestive system. Our lungs might not be getting all of the air that they need. It doesn't go right down to the bottom. We're not moving the diaphragm, nor the rest of the diaphragm, especially for our genital health. We want the pelvic floor diaphragm to be moving. And by the way, you can do a lot of research on what these people do with block therapy, especially if you have a particular disorder. You could do the exercises that are for that particular disorder. They talk about diabetes, they talk about endometriosis, they talk about contracted muscles, of course, and really it's bringing the breath. So one of the things I've always ascribed to is perfect breath, perfect health, but have not always followed until the last couple of years. So let's really start to dig deep into two areas to begin with. That's going to be the abdomen, the navel, but also this beautiful diaphragm that's under the ribs that pulls. When we inhale, the belly opens up, and that diaphragm moves downward, squishes all our organs nicely, and allows the air to go into the lungs, right? So there's a misnomer people use: breathe into your belly. No, it's not possible. You can't breathe into your belly. You can only breathe into your lungs. So because our work is so much about consciousness, what we say is really important. I can say things off target many times, and hopefully people can help me out by correcting what I'm saying, or not really correcting, but improving what we say. So yeah, I understand what I mean when I say breathe into the belly. I've said it before, but now I realize that is not a great terminology for when my brain, my entire nervous system, neuroplasticity is working. I'm breathing into my lungs, but my belly is opening up and drawing that diaphragm down, and I'm getting a full-on organ massage. Yeah. So just feel into that right now and see what's happening. One of the things I'm noticing is my shoulders are feeling some kind of release, yet tension at the same time. Just as I'm focusing on the diaphragm, I'm going to bring in a lot of blood, lymph, a whole bunch of circulatory, all of the circulation that we need in the diaphragm, along with consciousness. So one of the consciousnesses, we have a collective of people not breathing, of people avoiding their emotions, people avoiding. Wow, you can really feel that. It's almost like if I avoid my emotions, I'm not alive. I feel like I'm dying the moment I tune into avoiding emotions. And it feels like that is a huge part of anxiety. Wow, what a catch 22. So if I avoid my emotions, or I'll say we avoid our emotions, we're not having the experience, and the body becomes anxious, and the anxiety is an indicator that I'm avoiding my emotions. But the more the anxiety rises to tell me, oh, you're avoiding your emotions, the greater the anxiety is, and the greater the semblance of there is a death occurring while sort of alive, not really living. So really tune into that. If you need to, you might be very, very healthy. And if you're super healthy and you're able to cry and you're able to, emote, great. But now we're just going to be really subtle for those of you who are good with your emotions, you're happy with them, you like them. Then there's the next one where some people are, uh, I'm just showing my emotions, and they don't really care about who they're throwing their emotions on. It doesn't really matter because I'm having my feelings. This is not healthy. So let's just breathe in there and help that part of us and whoever else needs that. And then there's also, the really big pushing down of emotions that leads, I'm bringing up extremes here, but that's fine. You could be anywhere along the spectrum. This one is apathy. So apathy is I don't care. I'm not feeling my emotions, but deep down in there is rage. Now let's just feel into whatever emotion you have trouble with. Could be fear, could be anger, it could be sadness, could be grief, could be worry, probably all of them. But there's also joy in there. And the more we suppress the other emotions, well, joy gets suppressed as well. And we really need that joy. We need Kundalini movement. We need all of that, just really helping our spirit. Yeah. Helping the spirit. I was with my acupuncturist yesterday, and he's always explaining different things to me that he's doing. And he says, I like to tell you all these things because your spirit really resonates with it. You like the spiritual stuff. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I didn't always see myself as liking the spiritual stuff. But it was interesting. As soon as he said it, I just felt my body just vibrating. So we could be suppressing anything. I started thinking, maybe I haven't really thought about how much I like the spiritual, because so many times people get into the spiritual and it usurps practical. So sure, I love the spiritual, but I also want his practical work. Put that needle where it needs to go. Do the work so that my body is working better. So we want all of those things to be working really well. We do have a physical body. We do have that feminine energy that needs to be or likes to be grounded and helps ground the masculine. But I also have that masculine spirit that just likes to, feel into the light within. So let's just tune into it. I can just really feel it's really juicy. Like as I get this breathing and the navel moving and heating up the engine that runs me, I can feel my inner light being able to almost beam out through, fingertips to all the cells out through your eyes. So just tune into that. Even if you're feeling completely like you can't move, even if you feel as though I can't move, I'm exhausted, I have no energy. Feel that light. It's there in you, and it's helping you to heal, especially while you're listening to a session like this, wherever else you're listening to, right? We can listen to just about anything, and that click in consciousness can start to activate those parts of us that need clearing. So, asthma. any contractions, tumors. These are things that need us to breathe properly. Also, this other piece that came up, see that inner light that can burn out all the stuff that we don't need, especially our toxins. There's so much coming into my mind right now, I don't even know what to say. If you're doing a detox at this point in time, you can use this session to help the detox as well as deep breathing. If you are I'm gonna, because we're focusing on the breath, somebody in the group mentioned nausea, and it's actually coming up right now. So I'm gonna say that this emotional aspect where we're resisting or we're holding our breath and it clamps down, when that emotion is rising to the surface, trying to rise, trying to move, that is the best time to be doing some deep breathing to really get into the movement of the abdomen, especially since nausea. Nausea is about the stomach. There we go. There's that first really deep breath. So I'm going to get the three brains attuned to each other in this light and this breathing. And then we want to get body chemistry. So for those of you who have infection, let's say in the lungs, this season too, for the for both hemispheres, there can be high allergens, which cause a lot of mucus. But again, what's really coming up strongly today is the lack of capacity for the body mind to allow these emotions to flow. Our natural emotions are anger, sadness, grief, fear, worry, and joy. Joy is the counterpart to sadness. Those things are happening all the time. When they become pathologized, then they become things like anxiety, jealousy, that kind of stuff. Those are not natural emotions to the body. So here we're working with, like, jealousy can be insecurity, it's fear and insecurity, which is kidneys, bladder, also second chakra. So that could, just break down a little bit. Resentment is going to be the resending of, thoughts, etc., through the liver, just keeps resending things. Just start to get the breath, the diaphragm, the respiratory diaphragm, the pelvic floor diaphragm, and the shoulder diaphragm to move with the breath, with the belly, especially that belly button. You want that belly button being drawn to your spine. When you do this practice of breathing, you inhale, you make a nice big belly, and then you exhale and you draw your belly button to your spine, really pushing the air out. And you could hold at the end of the breath, just hold. And that holding, you could actually feel yourself sweat. And that way you're really pushing out of all the fascia, all of the muscular system, all of these emotions that can result in so many different problems in the body. Mm-hmm. And mind, right? It's not just your body, it's body, mind. Okay. Well, let's tuck that in. And I'm going to leave you with that. There we go. Have a great week and check out Block Therapy. Bye, guys.